A stunt goes fatally wrong on the Georgia set of The Walking Dead. Now a stuntman's family is suing.
A Braves legend earns his place among the greats. Chipper Jones reflects on his diamond legacy.
Georgia mayor's at the White House, but was there a Democratic walkout? We're checking the facts.
But first, 2 deadly attacks on American targets in Afghanistan. Today, at least 4 people killed when gunmen and a suicide bomber stormed the offices of Connecticut-based charity Save the Children. And the State Department just confirmed 4 Americans were killed this weekend in a 13-hour Taliban siege on the Intercontinental Hotel in Kabul. 22 people died and dozens more were injured. The son of Carlton's police chief is in jail tonight, accused of brutally beating his 3-year-old stepson. The judge denied bond today for 21-year-old Joshua Richards. Prosecutors say he used a belt to pummel the boy, who was airlifted to the hospital with multiple skull fractures and bruises. You may not know his name, but you know his A-list clients. New dash cam video shows Alpharetta police arresting hip-hop producer Pierre P. Thomas for reckless driving. Officers clocked Thomas' Jeep Grand Cherokee going 120 miles an hour. Thomas is chief executive of Atlanta's Quality Control Music, working with artists like Migos, Lil Yachty, and Rich Dick. The mother of a stuntman killed on the set of The Walking Dead is now suing AMC for wrongful death. It's a story that many of you have been talking about quite a bit on social media, so we did a little digging, and Natisha Lance joins me now with what she found.
Right, Vinny. Well, this is the lawsuit. 19 pages. It names more than a dozen different people involved in this, different corporations, different film industries, different film production companies involved in this, that say they could have prevented the death of 33-year-old stuntman John Bernecker.
Production on one of TV's hottest shows came to an abrupt halt last July when stuntman John Bernecker fell headfirst more than 20 feet from a balcony onto a concrete floor. It was the first death of a stuntman in the United States in 17 years. Most stunt persons, like veteran Paul Locavara, say it's a safe business.
Our whole job's about safety, because if we're not safe, we're not coming home.
But the wrongful death suit filed by Susan Bernecker, John's mother, says safety was not a priority. Instead, an emphasis on keeping production budgets low and profits high. The suit also alleges multiple errors by AMC that led to Bernecker's fatal scene: inadequate cushioning beneath the balcony, no rehearsal of the scene, and no ambulance on scene. In a statement, AMC said it takes safety extremely seriously and complies with the industry standards. The suit also names Austin Amelio, the actor who was with Bernecker on the balcony, alleging he was supposed to push him off the balcony but was not supposed to touch John during the stunt performance. But he actually did touch John, but he also grabbed the back of his clothing, changing the trajectory of his fall. Defense attorney Randy Kessler says it's a tough case, but believes it will end in a settlement rather than going to trial.
There will be offers made. The only question is, what does the plaintiff want? What does the defense want to pay?
A few days after Bernecker's death, a Savannah jury awarded the family of Sarah Jones $11.2 million in her wrongful death suit. In 2014, she was working as a camera assistant on Midnight Rider. She was killed when the train crashed into the set while filming on a track without clearance. Bernecker's mother is represented by the same law firm that handled that case.
So the film company behind The Walking Dead is also facing a more than $12,000 fine because of Bernecker's death. They cite failure to adequately protect workers from falling, and that situation has yet to be fully resolved. But the big question is, will this go to trial? Will it not? Randy says he doesn't think it will, that it's just going to be settled outside of court.
Those civil cases always get settled, just about all the time.
We'll see.
Thanks, Natisha. Remember this Atlanta police officer who was hit by a car last week when Lenox Road was covered in ice? Quinita Smith is now back home recovering, but we've just received the dash cam video showing the moment she was hit. Now, we want to warn you before we show you the video, it's shocking, but remember, Officer Smith is going to be all right.
Oh! At Lenox.
As you can see in the video, Officer Smith was standing on the side of the road trying to help the driver in that white SUV. Another car then slides on the ice, smashes into the SUV, which knocks the officer down. Someone passing by used her own radio to call for help. 100 mayors, including 17 from Georgia, were invited to meet with President Trump today, but USA Today reports many mayors boycotted the event after the DOJ threatened to subpoena 23 cities known as sanctuary cities. Joe Hankey joins us tonight. Joe, did any Georgia mayors boycott this Trump meeting?
Well, Vinny, so far we have not learned of any Georgia mayors boycotting the meeting. In total, 17 mayors from Georgia received an invitation to meet with President Trump today at the White House for a discussion focused on growing the economy, discussing the opioid epidemic around the country, and also our country's failing infrastructure. We'll show you here. These are the 17 Georgia mayors who received that invitation, and we reached out to each of them tonight. We can confirm at least 10 accepted the White House invite and attended the meeting. This includes mayors of Sandy Springs, Johns Creek, Dallas, Peachtree City, and Loganville, to name a few. Jackson's mayor also attended. She tells me it was an honor to represent Jackson today in D.C.
The attitude among most of my colleagues was it was a little high-handed not to be there and to speak up for the people you represent. So everybody was proud to be a part of this.
And at least 2 Georgia mayors did not attend, but they tell me it had nothing to do with politics. Athens Mayor Nancy Denson says the flu kept her away. Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms' staff says she participated in a roundtable discussion on urban renewal at the White House earlier today, but a prior commitment stopped her from going to Trump's meeting this afternoon. We're still waiting to hear back from Augusta, Macon, LaGrange, Union City, and Sylvester's mayors to see if they attended. During his meeting, Trump did call out any mayors not attending as a type of boycott against his administration.
And the mayors who choose to boycott this event have put the needs of criminal illegal immigrants over law-abiding Americans. But let me tell you, the vast majority of people showed up. Okay, the vast majority.
And Georgia's mayors that did attend, they tell me, away from that comment from Trump, everything stayed on topic. The mayors also met with several other top federal officials in D.C. And Vice President Mike Pence, fresh off a trip from the Middle East, also made a surprise appearance today at the White House meeting. Vinny?
Dr. Larry Nasser sexually molested over 100 young girls. He had access to these girls because he was the doctor for USA Gymnastics. Today, he was sentenced in a court in Michigan. Many of you probably saw part of it as it was streaming live all over Facebook today.
I'm giving you 175 years, which is 2,100 months. I've just signed your death warrant.
This was the powerful conclusion to a week-long sentencing hearing where 156 young women and girls spoke out and gave their victim impact statements.
You assaulted me again and again. I fought back tears, and I felt so dirty. From that point on, my life was forever changed.
The fact that our sexual violation was enjoyed by Larry matters. It demands justice. And the sentence you impose today will send a message about how much these precious women and children are worth.
These victim impact statements truly had an impact. They empowered the young women, informed the public, influenced the judge, and were also heard by the child molester who was no longer a doctor.
There are no words that can describe the depth and breadth of how sorry I am for what has occurred. An acceptable apology to all of you is impossible to write and convey. I will carry your words with me for the rest of my days.
So what happened in that courtroom in the last week is the exception, not the rule. In most cases, in courthouses across the nation, the victim's voice is rarely heard. We usually just hear about the defendant and how tough things have been for that felon. So it was nice to see Lady Justice remember the victim today. I just wish she would remember every day, in every case, for every victim. And this story is still one of the biggest talkers on social media today. Lots of people taking a positive approach, sending their love to the victims and applauding their strength. People are also praising the judge who sentenced him, calling her a hashtag shero. Some of the abuse survivors even tweeting memes and thank yous to Judge Aquilina. We followed the story as it developed over the past few weeks. You can find more on our website, 11alive.com. Was it something he said? A local comedian performing on the road gets a beat down during his act. He's speaking only to 11 Alive, telling us how it all went down and why he says he's being hit twice.